Hey guys, Daisy here. So I'm back for another review. Innokin sent me this lovely piece of work. It is the T18 with Prism Flavor Enhancement. Now it's got a cartridge coil, which I'm not fond of, so initially I was pretty sure I wasn't going to like this piece. It's not terrible. It vapes, it does what it's supposed to do. In my opinion, the flavor production on this specific tank is lacking. It's got a small amount of vapor, and the battery is fully charged, so, you know, there's no wonderment about whether or not the battery is fully charged. But the tank, it's got a really tight airflow. I'm not fond of the cartridge coils. I never have been. But the flavor production is slightly on the bland side, but it does work. It provides the vapor is thick feeling. Even though you don't get much production, it still feels really thick, so you do get that satisfaction off of the coil if you're a fan of the cartridge coils. I think it's because of how tight the airflow is that's why it feels so thick. On the other hand, the battery is fantastic. I've put my K-Fun on it and it powers it just fine. I'll show you. So it looks kind of funny with my K-Fun on it. But, I mean, it's not, you know, the battery is substantially wider than a normal EVOD battery. It's probably about twice as wide. But it powers it really nicely. And I get a pretty decent cloud off of my K-Fun on this battery, which did surprise me. That surprised me a lot, actually. I wasn't expecting that from a battery like this. So they did something really good with this battery. Not entirely fond of the tank, but they did a really good job with this battery. And it's got the traditional Innokin 3-phase colors. You got your red, your yellow, and your green for your charging, for your charge levels. The thing I do like about this battery, aside from its power, is the fact that you just spin this thing here and you have your charging port. So now you have a pass-through that has a cover that's not just going to come flying off like the EVOD pass-throughs, where it's this stupid cap you got to screw on there that's got like one thread and you lose it as soon as you unscrew it. So that's a really nice feature. It takes about 4.5 hours to charge completely, and it lasts through the day, believe it or not. On my K-Fun, it lasted me an entire day of puffing and then some. So you get a full day's charge out of it. It's a pass-through. It'll power anything above 1.1 ohms. And, I mean, it does really good. I even had a 0.9 ohm on here. Or no, it was a 0.1. It was a not 0.1. 1 ohm coil. It was a 1 ohm coil, and it fired it just fine. So I haven't tried anything lower than an ohm on this yet. I don't think it'll power it, but there's that. I've had a lot of people comment on the color, and a lot of girls especially have said, hey, that's a really sweet color, I really like it. I'm not one for the color, but apparently this is a very popular color. The coil is not hot swappable, so you have to empty the tank out before you swap the coil. Since there's liquid in it, I'm not going to be able to show you the coil, but it is a top fill. And you can see how the coil seals against that in the top. And then to change the coil out, it's exactly the same as the iSub Apex and the iSub G. It takes the coil the same way. It doesn't take the same coil, but you flip it over, you undo the bottom cap, and you just pull the coil right out. And then you can slide your new coil in, put it back together, open up the top, and refill it, and there you go. It takes probably about 5 minutes to really prime the first time around. When you have a brand new coil in there, it takes like 5 minutes to really prime because it's got all these holes that the liquid has to seep through all the way up and down it. Now I did have a concern, which I'm sure a lot of you have about this, is once the liquid starts getting down there, since there's so many holes going up the top of it, is it going to have a performance issue once it gets down to the bottom few holes are the only thing pulling liquid in? I was surprised to find that was not the case. All the way down, emptied the tank, and I didn't have any wicking issues. I didn't have any dry hits. I have not had a dry hit yet on this tank. I've had several different people using it. I've used it all kinds of different milligrams. And so far, it has vaped everything we put in there. And it's vaped it consistently. It's been the same vape, the same feel, the same draw, everything all the way across the board. The only things I don't like about it is, it's a cartridge coil. The flavor is bland, and the vapor isn't the best, although it feels satisfying. So for people that don't really care about what you see coming out, you just care about the feeling, this is a good tank. If you care about vapor production, I wouldn't recommend the tank. The battery, however, is great. So if you order this and you don't like the tank, you can throw whatever tank you like on it because it is a wider battery. It'll go well with most of your atomizers. But yeah, I was pretty surprised with this. I was especially surprised with the performance of the tank. Never mind Chewbacca in the background. It's fine. So, that is the Innokin T18. Nothing really eye-grabbing about it, except for apparently a lot of people like the color. So good job on Innokin for picking up on that one. Got your pass-through at the bottom. And I didn't have any issues with this thing flying open, and it seems pretty solid on there. I mean, it's got a little wiggle room, but it seems like it was more meant to be wiggly. It doesn't seem loose. So, yeah, that is the Innokin T18. If you have any questions about it, leave them below. As always, God bless.